Welcome to our next live stream on our build for the layout. Hope you're having a great day. It's been good here. It's hot. Feels like summer again. We're having the second summer. Everything's blooming outside. All of our flowers that bloomed once and only usually bloom once are blooming a second time. So we're going to do this rock painting here today. I know on the last live I said I was going to do the entire section here all the way down. But that was just going to take too long. So this morning I've already gone ahead. I've started here and I finished up to about here. So I'm just going to do this area right here today. That'll only take maybe 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. And I'll bring the camera over and I'll put it here and we'll get a good close up so you can see everything that I'm doing when we get to that stage. So that's what we're going to do. I'll show you like we have been doing in the past. I will show you what I've been doing here with the layout up to this point. We've been doing some good testing on things, getting ready for the big station here. I'll show you that here in a second. It's coming out really, really well. So we'll get started and we'll go ahead and jump into this so that as people come in, we'll already be onto that. They can always go back and review and see what they missed. So I'm going to get the camera here and I'll just do a quick show you here. All right, so as you can see, today I actually, or past couple of days, I've actually gotten one of our tallest cars that we have is a double stack car. And you can see that it does just clear the height of that for the station to be over the top of it. I was kind of worried about that when I started, and that's even considering I still got to put road bed here. I did my measurements. We're still going to clear by probably about 1/4 of an inch. So it should clear without any problem because nothing's going to be hanging down below this level right here on the track. It's all going to be above that level going on to the pink. So it'll work out pretty good. I'll show you the station here in just a second. So that's been it. Not a lot has changed here since last time we were here. I was hoping to get this big building going right here, but I got sidetracked on this project. As most of you can know, when you're working on layouts, you start working on something and it just keeps going. So this will be up by next week. Now, our next live, I've told you guys that we're going to be doing a train show. We're going to do a train show next Saturday. We actually thought we were going to go ahead and do a live feed from that train show. So sometime Saturday afternoon, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, at the train show, we will be doing a live feed from it after we get done doing all the stuff that we need to do at the show, and we'll be showing you some of the boosters. Should be some people here that have got some really cool things that they do and they make themselves. So we'll talk to a few of them, see if they want to talk about what they're making and how you might be able to get it if you want anything. So we'll be doing that. All right, so I'm going to just kind of pan over here. You can see what we're going to do here. Here's what I've been working on right here. This is the station. Now I'm going to hold this up over here and you're going to see something. This is going to look, you're going to think, oh my goodness, that's way too big. Okay, there it is. And this is it without the towers. So you may think, oh boy, that's just way out of scale. These windows are way too big. It's completely out of scale. It's not. I went and looked at, I got a lot of information on this the real station. We've adapted it to make it smaller for ours, but a lot of the dimensions of the windows and doors are still the same. This right here on the real building is between 50 and 60 feet up off the ground. So I'm pretty close to being accurate with what it is right here. We're doing a lot of double checking. The clock tower, even though we're shaving it down, is 280 feet tall, which equates out to 21 inches, which would be about like that tall. When we're not going to do that, we're only going to make it about this tall right here. So it'll be about maybe 14 inches tall, 14, 16 inches tall, and then the big tower here next to it. And that's going to sit, I'll just get it so I don't hit my car. That's going to sit over the tracks right here. We'll have some videos coming this week showing that. Just our little short videos that will show you how that goes into place. You can see all the I-beams right there. That's going to be coming up with some short videos this weekend, the build for some things that go with that. So we'll be getting to that here fairly shortly. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this in place. Give me just a second here while I try to get a good view of the top. You want to see kind of top down. I'm going to get a light on here so things light up a little bit. There we go. Oh, yeah. Okay. Like I said, I stopped here. So we're going to pick up right here and we're going to work our way that way. I got my plate here set up. I've got my brushes. I've got my water. Got my 2 bottles. This is what I've been working with. This is the Apple Barrel Granite Gray and just plain white. I'll be doing, like I said, I talk about how I do it all in one go. I really watched what my mix was this time. It's about a 50-50 mix with a little bit of extra gray added on at the very end. So it will, you'll see the mix as I go on when I get ready to do that right here. All right, so let's get started with this, since that's what this video is all about. Get this out of the way. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick close-up here so you can see the effect we're going to get now that there's a lot of it. Okay. I'll try to come in on the top so I don't get rid of my light. You can see how right along these areas right here and up right along these ridge lines right here, it's much lighter. That's what we're about to create right here. With all of these areas right here, I'm just going to come down a little bit. You can see how same thing along these edges right here. It's all just really nice the way it gives you this effect. And you've got streaking coming down to give the fade. You can see that right here, how it comes down. So we're going to do that all along the face right here. So I should have shown that earlier before I had this camera all set up, but hadn't really thought about it. Okay, so we're just kind of back to the way it was. We'll get ourselves in. All right. So first step is to get the paint. Shake it up. I already shook it this morning when I was working on this area down here, but I shake every time I get ready to put, even if it's only been an hour. Just make sure everything is good. I'll start right here, put in that. That probably won't be enough for the whole go, but it'll be close enough. I'm going to turn this just a little bit like this so that I'm working from this way to this way. Get the white. That's about 50-50 right there. All right, so now we're just going to work all this together. Get some water just to thin the paint a little bit to get started with so I can get my mix going. I can see right now that it's already a little too light, which is why I add a little more gray in. Okay. Get my glasses on here so I can actually see what I'm doing close up. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's getting close. Now you can now actually see right in this area right here. I don't know if I got this where you can see up on the plate or not, but the grays are starting to match the grays that dried from the earlier session today when I was working on it. So it's really close to being exactly the same gray. So much so that I'm not going to worry about it if it's not an exact match because it'll be close enough. All right. Get this, put a little water in here. Just to keep this so it stays fresh. I don't want it, I won't be using a very wet paint when I'm doing this. In fact, most of this is going to be dry brushed, but I do want to have that. All right, so I'm going to get the brush cleaned out. I brought a lot of paper towels this time instead of having to, I'm actually prepped this time versus the last time. I'm going to get this light position just a little bit better for me so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'll just dry it off. I always start at the top and I work my way down. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start putting right along this front edge right here on the cliff face. And then take here. I've got a little bead of the paint. Now I'm going to come in with just water and I'm going to thin it down right along the edge here. There we go. Let that blend to the back some. I'm going to pull the rest of this white off. because it does flow pretty good. I want the rest of that rock to show. All right, so we're going to just do this right along the face here, just like that. And same process we just did. And we're going to fade that out just a little bit right there, right along the back edge of that, just so it blends out into the darker grays. There we go. All right, so now the next step is going to be just doing just a tiniest bit of streaking down the front face there. Get it clean. Now, I don't want a lot of white going down just yet, so I'm going to pull from the bottom up, kind of cleaning the white off as I go. And it also helps it blend down in. We're going to get all of the gray off here now. There we go. That just makes a beautiful little blend down like that. And the same thing happens right here, right along the bottom edge where the paint kind of ends that you did the streaking down with. You just kind of get it to where you put the water onto the acrylic and it starts to flow. That's pretty good. I'm going to thin a little bit of this out up here. There we go. Nice. All right, so now I want to get this like that. And pull it back up. Get rid of that. And then pull a little bit down. There we are. All right, so now I've got a really nice edge starting right here. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it too well, but I will show you as we get towards the end part of this. I can see a few little dots here and there where my original paint didn't. I'll have to come back in with my darker paint later and get things patched in. There's a few spots here and there that aren't nice and dark yet. All right, so same thing. Just, you know what? I think I'm going to try. This one's kind of, so I used it to do a lot of just basic painting. This one's got a better edge to it. So, because you want a good edge here. I'm going to get that thinned out here real quick so I don't have spots. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one a little bit more. Let's see if I can do there we go, a little bit. That's a little better of an edge. There. Okay. So now we're going to, same thing, we're going to catch all that light and pull it up and off and get it out of that crevice there. There we go. Bring some over here. Streak that out. There we are. Okay. So good. So basically, I've gotten this area done right here. I need to put a little bit right here. There's a little raised edge right here. You just need to look for all the little raised edges. Like that. There we go. All right, I'm going to do a quick close-up here so you can see what I've done, what I've just finished. Gotta get a little more of this dry. Okay. Grab the camera here. So now you can see, set the paintbrush down. You can see right here the light edge and the light edge here. And I'll try to get this so I'm not in the way of the light. And the light edge right down here. And where this comes over and drops down right here. And this now blends beautifully into what I had done before. So all we got to do is just come across right here, finish that up. So you can see that only took, about maybe 5 minutes to do that little section right there. So let me reset this up. There we go. I'm going to stand back for a minute, make sure it blended in nicely from this morning. Yes, it did. You can't really tell where I stopped earlier and where I've begun now. So I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so we're just going to keep rolling with this. So it's doing the same thing. Going up along the top up here, I'm just going to go ahead and come around a little bit. Probably right to in here. And then we'll thin it like this. Come and pull it forward and sideways so the stone color underneath comes back through. Before this sets up and dries, you want to get some water on it. Make sure it stays viable for working with. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to hit that front edge right here so it's not such a hard line. Because I come back in a little bit afterwards, and I always come back later after I'll do the same thing when I get done here. I'll add a little bit of extra light just on the edges. So for right now, we don't need to have it really bright along the edge. And the reason I do that is because when I get done pulling the paint up right here, I always pull some off this front edge, this leading edge anyway. All right, let's go around the corner here. We're just going to do a few little spots. Pick up where the joint compound has made some really great looking textures. Put some right here on that. I'm going to catch this front edge of this. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's nice. Catch the front edge of that right there. Come down a little bit. Like I said, you can always tell when I'm happy where I hit a spot when I'm working with my paint. Do this. There we go. Blend that out. There we are. And go ahead and bring some of that up here so it doesn't look like it's just frosting that's spilled over the top. Yeah, there we are. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, I like how this is coming out right here. Now, occasionally what you might have to do, I don't have to just yet, it depends upon how fast I'll move. You may have to throw some water onto your paint just to keep your mix working well. All right, now let's do these little areas right here. Now, kind of blend that out, pull it up, get this dry, and we'll just scrub that to where it just... Now, what I mean by scrubbing is I just kind of go back and forth with it like this, and that will allow you to, and then you just do a pull-up. That allows you to get back down to your base paints. You want to scrub like that. Oh yeah, that did right. Now, I really like this area right here. I know I probably should do some light. I may do, I'll just do some here. I'm not going to do a whole bunch right here because I really love this color. You're probably not seeing it, but it is a beautiful graduation of color right here. And the way it's all blended in and mixed. But I do need to put a little bit up here on these areas, just a little bit more right through here, like that. And then I'm probably going to just let the rest of this stay this kind of a mix. It's really nice. There's something over here. Oh, yeah. I'll do that when I get towards the end. I was not happy with the way this looked right here. This has got a nice edge line, like this is a set of rock moved forward, but this just didn't do well. So I'm going to try to define, make a little more of a hard line right here. See if I can't do something like that right there. I just was not happy with this edge right here at all. There we go. Okay, that gave me more of a straight broken line on the rock right there, which looks better than the way it was. It just looked kind of fakey before. So, okay, now then, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to try to, there, pull some of the grays back out. That white just got a little too much right in here. I'm having a hard time with the double vision today. So what I see is what looks like a white line. I have to close my right eye, and it really isn't a white line. So that'll be. It always makes it interesting when you're doing things like this. There we go. I'll just thin that out. Just boop, 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 boop. Just like that. Do Bob Ross noises. Whoosh. There we go. Yeah, that gave me some nice details right there in that big area. Now see down here, I'm going to put some rock. I'll get talus and I'll paint it the colors that this stuff is, and I'm going to put that, break it up, and I'm going to put it all along here so that you can see like where these things have gone that are have fallen loose. Right now we got a spot right here. Looks like I took a little too much off. You can see the pink underneath. That's fine. There we go. I'll just clean that side up a little bit. There we are. All right, so we're gonna just come down the side here. I'm at a funny angle because I'm working around the light I'm using. I'm gonna have to get a better system here for working when I'm doing videos, because I'm right against the light. I have to stretch to get into these areas. There, that's nice. Just a little bit down that top edge. That's working good. Okay. Now we'll come get this edge right along here. And just hit a few of the spots here and there. Now I'll get the camera here in just a sec after I get this area done, and I'll show you again a little progress shot of how it's coming. Again, we'll just thin it just like that. There we go. Okay. And we'll just gonna highlight that a little bit, and I'll get some of that off of there. It's not going to stay. This will just blend right up. There we go. But I wanted those edges to show a little bit more right there on that. Makes this whole section right here stand out more. Let's see that now. There we go. Yeah, that's blending in nicely. Okay, I got a little, you can see this little spot right here. So we're gonna we got a message this week from a person that's been viewing for quite some time, because we've had this now up for 15 months, this channel up for 15 months. And he just wanted to say that he has really enjoyed the videos. He's had some real health issues, and he told us about them. And he said that watching these has been inspiring him to get back to working on his layout. And I was very appreciative of that, because that's what we're trying to do here, is build a place where people can come just to enjoy. As you've noticed, we don't have, we're not driving trying to get money. Oh, go join our Patreon and do all this. We're going to have other content up there that you're not going to see here. And we're not doing any of that. We're trying to keep this thing 100% free. For that specific reason is for people just to come and enjoy. And he just said how it had inspired him to just keep up with it and to think about what he wants to do after he gets through his treatments and everything. And I just thought that was absolutely wonderful. So just a shout out to him. I don't know if he's watching today or not, but if he is, he knows who he is. And we hope you're here with us today and you're enjoying it. But it is kind of at a funny hour, being this kind of the type of the day. This is when I just had time today to do this. This weekend's kind of busy, so I wasn't going to have a whole lot of time to do stuff. But yeah, so we are just trying to build something for you guys that you can come and enjoy, and just not have to worry about paying any money for. That you can just, you want to talk about your layout. We have a place there. We now have a place set up where you can go and you can share images of your layout or things you're building, cars, engines, whatever. buildings, anything that you want to show off. Just come show off. We've noticed people are starting to chat more together, and they're helping each other out on this. They're, oh yeah, I'm saying I've done this with that, and it's helped the other person. So we're just trying to build a good spot for model railroaders. With everything people have to deal with in their lives, it's nice to have a place where you can just come and relax. And that's what we're trying to do here. It's just a place where you can come and relax. All right, sometimes it gets a little boring like this with something like this, but in the long run, when we start doing our run videos, which I've told you guys before, and anybody that's here that hasn't heard before, that we will be having our cameras set up once we get quite a bit of the track work done, and just run trains. We'll just have them running 2 or 3 times a week for like 8-10 hours at a time, where you can just come watch trains run through all the stuff you've seen us build. So we're trying to get to that stage, and we are going to start exhibiting at train shows some of the stuff we're building that we want to take and sell. And when we do that, we are going to put live feeds going there with us. Every time we go do a train show, we're going to do a live feed, like I just talked about at the beginning of this one, how we're going to do it at the end of the show after we get everything done that we need to do. Now, we're not exhibiting at this show that's coming up. We're just going to, I need some things for the layout, so we're going to go see if we can find some good deals on some stuff, because this can get expensive, as you all know. So I always try to find the best deals possible so that we can keep getting great stuff to bring to you guys. So train shows are our best bet usually for finding stuff like that. That and Facebook Marketplace. I find really good things there from time to time. So, but train shows mostly. And it's a good place to go and talk with other train people. And we know a lot of club guys around us. So we're just going to go and start doing the live feeds as we're at the shows. And because we know some people that are coming up with some really new, neat products that they're just manufacturing themselves. And again, we don't get anything. We're not endorsed by anybody, not at this stage anyway. And if we show something off for somebody, it's because it's something that we think you guys might like to see, or it's something that we've done, we've used actually personally, and have had good luck with. So hopefully we won't steer you wrong on any recommendations that we make or people that we deal with, that you'll have just as good a luck with them as we have had. All right, so back to the task at hand here. As you can see, I've just been working away, hitting the edges, making my highlights. And every time this goes on, you go, oh, I ruined it. But then you blend it in. And it looks natural. That was the hardest thing for me to do when I got started, was take that leap of faith of, okay, I'm going to try it, and if it doesn't work, I'll just paint over the whole thing. And it still can be daunting. I'm thinking about, I've already put all this work into getting the dark areas. Do I really want to take the chance of messing it up? Well, worst case scenario is you just have to paint over. You just start again. There, boy, we're coming along. Look how much we've done here just in this short period of time. We've come probably, this is about 14 inches right here. And we're just about to this. I try to find visual stopping points that I can go back and kind of look at what I've done and see where I need to change things or add to. And that especially comes in handy. Like, I knew I stopped here, so I know I was happy with this, and I'm fairly happy with this. I can see right here I've got a little more white, but that's because I really like this color right through here. So I may try to come in here and just dilute this out and try to get some of the gray back in. I'll see what I can do without taking too much paint off and getting back down to the pink or the white. Oh, that's a little better. Maybe the same thing right here. Take some of this white off right here on the top. Okay. I actually kind of like that transition a little better now. It's not gray tones slamming right into white tones right here. So we're doing okay on that. And I always go back and I look at areas that I've done back here and make sure that I'm still kind of keeping in. And I'll take my light and but just by moving different angles, you can see where you've been and what you're doing and things like that. I look like I'm doing okay so far. It looks like I've been keeping it in the same as this. The hard part is this is all dry down here, and it darkens. So this is really light right now, but it will darken as we go along. So you just have to have faith that if you use the same procedures that you did before, that it will look the same. And again, that's one of those leap of faith things that comes with practice. That you just put enough faith in yourself and your abilities that you're going to be able to get it to match. We're just going to go right in here. Well, anyway, back to what I was saying about that. So I don't know if you're watching, but if you are, we did really appreciate those messages and notes this week that what we're doing has helped some people in certain ways. So hope you're here. Hope you're watching. If not, I hope you're watching on the replay if you're like busy doing something today. All right, got that. That did a nice little edge right there. Now I've got a few areas right here that I kind of want to just highlight some areas up here. I'll reposition the camera here in just a sec since I've moved around. I've gotten a lot closer. You can see I'm just about ready to start going down the face of this wall with what I've done on the back side here. Nice. Oh yeah, that made this little depression really stand out nicely. I do think I want a couple of areas where the white goes back a little further. It's just not the leading edge. I'm sorry if I'm talking loud. I don't feel like I am, but I was working with the Dremel this morning on that station, and I had the Dremel on for a solid hour and a half, and my ears are still ringing. I use earplugs and stuff, but it can get to be a little much after a while, even with that in, and especially for a solid hour and a half. So I'm trying to moderate my voice so as to not be overpowering, but I can't tell. Oh, that's looking nice right there. I'm going to take a little bit of the white off right there. There you go. Streak that down a little bit. We'll come back in and we'll draw it up. There we go. Oh, yeah. That gives me, whoops. See, this is the problem I had right here, and I knew I was going to have a problem right down at this end. 2 episodes back, I think I was talking about it. I forgot to do my second coat of this base coat. I don't know if you can see, I have this base coat back here. I forgot to do a second coat of the base gray. And you get a lot of water flowing. It can take it off quick. So that's a good lesson that I should have known better, but I was getting in a hurry that day, and you know what happens when you get in a hurry. Shouldn't be working on this kind of stuff when you're in a hurry. You can just sit and enjoy it. That's when you get your best results and you don't forget to do things. There we go. So I have to kind of brush with not as much force as I usually do, so it's taking a little bit longer, and I'm having a little harder time figuring out if I'm getting the mixes right. I did notice I didn't quite get in here, and I'll hit that later. I'll go, oh, I didn't get that. So I got that now. All right, let me turn the camera a little bit here, and I'll check, make sure we're. I'm gonna have to find a better way to light this up, though. I can tell you that right now. All right, I'm gonna get this like that. We'll get that right there. There we go. Okay, that should take us to the end. Okay. I love these big flat faces like this. Um, it really, as you can see, you can fade it out beautifully with that. I mean, I do like the uneven areas, but just those to get that fade like that is just wonderful. And the best way to do that is on the flat faces. But how often do you have that? Especially on something where they cut this, in potentially in real life, had this been a real location, they would have cut through this rock for the tracks below. It just wouldn't have been as neat. But I was getting closer to the tunnel right here, so I was trying to simulate more of a flat cut down as they were trying to get to it. Instead of just down here where it's like, okay, we're just going to drill down and knock a bunch of stuff off just because we just have to get enough out of the way. I'm going to put some highlight right there. And we'll just blend that out and like that. There we go. I'll start getting this, and I'll get this really thinned right here. There. Okay. Just some. Now you can see what this. We put this light area right here. What that happened, what that is, now you've got this light area coming down to a dark area that's on the underside where I carved away, kind of making a shadow, and then you have your light highlight, but then you have the darker areas below. So that did really nice right there. And I'm going to leave this right here. I may do a little streaking. Let's see how that does. Like the water ran, and see how that'll look. Oh, that looks nice. We'll just kind of thin it, make the edge just a little sharper. There we go. And get rid of that. And I'm gonna, there. Oh, that did nice, because actually what that did is it kind of looked like it faded down and it followed the curve of the rock right there. That's good. All right, I'm gonna get a new paper towel. My hands are wet with that one. So I'm probably still gonna, even though I got 4, I'm probably gonna have a few more before the end here. We'll see though. Now I'm gonna try to keep most of this darker area in here. I really like that color variance right there. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's what I got. I just put a little light in there, but then I still got this really nice dark area right here. So, okay. I think I did this. I don't know. It's awful light. We'll see. Yeah, I did that. That's fine. I'll just do one little light area right there. Oh, yeah, actually looks really nice. Okay. Ooh, that looks really good. All right. Happy little accidents, Bob says. As he said. I was really ashamed about him, and from what I read about, it was the chemicals that he used when he would, I think it's what it was when he was like, he beat his brush against that canvas, and those chemicals that were in that thinner is what the problem was. At least that's what I read online somewhere. Okay, so now I got this edge right here we're going to come get. I'll get the leading edge and I'll come back and get a few areas that go back a little further. As soon as I get this blended in, so I can have that kind of the same effect right there. So you can see we're almost done. And what I'm doing is I'm pushing forward. So I'm trying not to get a lot of the lighter paint, the lighter gray, coming to the back initially. So I'm just taking and I'm pushing forward like this. Then I'll come and I'll flow it to the back after I've gotten most of the paint off. There we go. Okay, now we will. This lends itself to needing to be just where this promontory is. This just kind of screaming at me to say, light me up. And right down in here too. And maybe right here. Okay, let's thin it. There, yeah, those are the spots to hit. Yep, I think so. That's good. Yep, okay. Well, now I'm really stretching over the light. I'll try to get this as best I can. I want this edge to really look nice right here. There we go. Okay. Same thing, we'll just kind of push forward like we've been doing. Nice. Okay, so that gave me my fade out right there. I'm just taking a quick overall look here at it. Now see, I'm getting some shadow right here being cast by the tripod that's holding the camera, so I'm having a hard time seeing what needs to be done because some stuff's looking darker than others. I know I want to put a little bit right here on this edge. There we go. And pull that up out of that dark area right there. Get rid of that. There we go. Okay. Now I'm just going to come and fade that out. All right. Let's see here. You know, this is looking really good right here already. I don't think I need to do much in the way of maybe just a couple of these little peak areas right here for streak down. Just not a whole lot. And that's the hard part too. Think, all right, I just got to do it all. Everything's got to have the same thing. No, it doesn't. But that did help. That gave me a few little light highlights, but I'm not going to go down much further because I really like this right here. I'm probably going to put a little more light highlight right here in just a second on this coming around the corner. It's just gotten a little dark here. When I did the black wash, it just kind of really, there's that, just my shadow. Oh, that's my shadow. Let me reposition my light. I'll have to really work over the top now. But if I didn't do that, I was already seeing this as being a dark area, and it wasn't. I'm kind of glad I just moved things over just a little bit. And again, pulling from top or from bottom up, just so you can kind of keep the white localized up there towards the top. There we go. Oh yeah, that looks good. All right, I want this to be a little bit of a lighter highlight. It's not quite enough yet. So we're gonna just, ooh yeah, let me drag that down a little bit, just have a little lighter of an area right here. Maybe follow this rock line right there. Then drag it up Yeah, yeah, there we go. Okay, almost. See the end. I'm going to bring right down in here like that. I'm not going to go much. I mean, I'm not going to paint a whole lot of this right here because I know I still have carving right here to do once I get the tunnel portal in. So I don't want to. I may wind up having to change some things right here, cut some more of this out. So I'm not going to do a whole lot right there. I think that's probably where I need to stop on that. All right, so I can see right here, I kind of killed that going back. I thinned it just a little too much. So I want to add a little bit more there on top. There we go. That blends out nicely now. Yeah, okay. And I may do the same thing like right here. This is where I'm going back in now, and I'm kind of adding some of my light highlights back. You can kind of see how that does right there. There we go. That's got it. All right. I like that. I need to put some right here. This is way too dark. You come back here along this ridge line right here, and definitely along this ridge right here. And along there. Okay. Let me take a look from the top down here, see what I've got. Yeah. That looks much better here. That looks good. I'm happy with that along the top right there. I may just pull it back right here on this other big flat area. Yeah. That's better. Get this stool out of the way so I can jump in here in these spots. Same thing here. Maybe right here. This is just neaten up work now. There we go. Now I can see where I started over here, where I didn't put any of that streak back, that it definitely needs it now. Plus there's all these areas right here. Let's see, I'm going to turn that just a little. I don't know if I focused, I don't know if I moved it down enough for this or not, but hopefully you guys are seeing what I'm doing down here. But again, I'll pull the camera around here in a sec. I'm pushing forward like I've been doing. There we go. Oh, that helped. Yeah, that blended this nicely right into what I had done before. Okay. I think now, going by what I've done here, I'm kind of looking back down the edges here. Okay, I can see that I do have a nice white highlight in spots. So we're going to just make sure we have one of our edges is really good in spots. We'll just make sure this hard ridge line is just nice and light. Oh, this is what I was talking about before, how we just come back and just doing a final. See that there? See, that's really popping that now. Yeah, giving us that really good line. There we go. Get this right here. Didn't. There it is. Yeah, you were there. Had to go find you. There we go. I'm going to put a little bit right there. Oh, yeah, that's good. That was like a piece of flat granite right there. Okay. Now then, we're going to, I need to put my light on this face right here because I think I need to put a little bit right in those areas. There. Oh, yeah, there we go. Nice. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to pull this across. There we are. Okay, I think that's going to be it. I think that's going to be good. I'll know tomorrow when it completely dries up if I got it right. And if not, all it's going to be, everything else is good enough. So all it's going to be at this point is going to be just a few light highlights, and maybe have to go back in with some of the darker areas, just a couple little spots here and there. So I'm going to pull this back, and then I'm going to come down with the light, and you'll be able to see what this looks like. I'm going to pick the camera up. All right. So let me get the light here in my hand. So I'm going to kind of come down from the top so you can see. Now you can see that. Oh, now you can really see that ridge line. Yeah. Comes all the way down, connects in, tones stay the same, comes all the way down, tones are staying the same. Beautiful, blended. I'm going to get this back so you can see. There we go. Now you can really see how that does. Now, I'll go kind of a slow pan here. You can see great color right there. I'm hoping it comes down on the camera because it's looking good on my screen. And yes, those are mobile homes. We're talking about that in another video this weekend. So here we go. Yeah, you really can't even tell that I had stopped there and it continued all the way around right to here. So I'm happy with that. Now all I got to do is do this ridge back here. Same thing as this. And then I got the mountain that's going to be over here. So lots and lots of rock. All right. Let me get this all set back. So if anybody has any questions, now's the time to ask because we're about ready to wrap this up. I think I'm going to back out just a little bit. Tone, I'm going to move that down just a little bit so it's not such a harsh light. There we go. That looks a little nicer. You can see how well that looks. Okay. I'm going to set this back here. Kind of a look of it from a distance. There you go. And you can see how that's really starting to work. All right, so like I said, our next, we're going to have probably a midweek live session next week of some sort. Excuse me, just a short one, or maybe just an overall review and show you what we're doing with the station, because a lot of this right in this area right here should be finished. So we'll maybe just do a quickie on that, and then next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, will probably be like an hour, 35, a half hour to an hour live feed from the train show. I think that'll be fun. It'll be the first time we've done that. We've got 3 train shows coming up in a row. We've got, as some of you know, we have you know the show, Train Fest in Milwaukee, massive show, huge show. All of the manufacturers come out for that. So we will be at that, and we'll live feed, and we're going to get a whole bunch of stuff from that. That'll be a lot of content coming to the channel. So that should be pretty good. So, all right. So I think we're done. So otherwise, you guys have a good weekend. I hope you have a wonderful, relaxing weekend, or if you have to work, have a good weekend. So we'll talk to you next week sometime. Thanks for watching.